Hello. Our group was composed of the Commissioner, Department of Public Safety, Veteran and Military Affairs, and Corrections. And because there were 3 of them, I'm being allowed to give the report out. So I wanted to thank the members of both the groups. They were very civil. There was a lot of frustration, certainly, with the process. It was much easier for Group 1 because they did have a longer period to talk. Group 2, trying to compress that exercise into an hour with people who are concerned and have a lot to say was challenging. So the differences that we recognize, and you can please go see for yourself on the charts over there, between Session 1 and Session 2 was pretty much the participants of both groups deemed the services primarily critical. Those, however, who had, I thought this was very interesting, those that did have a little bit more background or information available to them were more willing to cut services. Those who didn't have, who had less time and less information available to them, seemed to determine that the funds allocated for those were probably the right amount. So information does make a difference. And even for Group 1, I don't think we had enough information about what was going into necessarily each budget category. It made it difficult to, vote at 100 miles an hour. I also think that the comments that came out of these groups were unique, and I hope there's plenty of follow-up, so I'm going to recite some of those for you. So I will start with, of course, from Bernie Mac, is use the current price of oil as an opportunity to think creatively and get our budgets back to where they should be. So not to go into overwhelm, but to see this as an opportunity that we all have to set our house in order. Thematically, I think the issue that came up repeatedly with potential for us is to work with the tribes, which made me start to think, do our departments or our agencies or our state really know how to do that? And does each department head, if we say work with the tribes, does the Department of Public Safety really know what that means or how to go about doing it? There are 240 tribes. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in this area, but again, the topic came up over and over again, and it's not just because there are possibly cost savings, but this is a way to utilize expertise and services throughout a very, very geographically big state. For our group also, a lot of emphasis on partnership with the private sector, with Native corporations, with tribes, and thinking innovatively about how to get our hands on different monies, different types of monies, different creative solutions, because the private sector is actually very nimble in that respect. There was a very moving comment where a participant said, "I'm sitting in a room of haves, making decisions on behalf of have-nots. This time at least, I'm at the table." Another reason for including the tribes. There was a great suggestion is it would have been helpful to have a side-by-side to consider all of the creative ideas from the first transition session, and there were a lot of good ideas then. So where's the follow-on? What were the results of that? And where's the feedback mechanism from the agencies as to all of the recommendations that were made by this group the first go-around? Where were we with that? And so communication back to the agencies, because everybody in Session 1 and Session 2 had such really, the unique experiences, valuable comments. How do we create a conduit so they can finish those ideas or add on to them back to the agencies? What's going to be the website or the address or what's next? We can't waste all of the resources we have here, so how do we get the information from these folks back to the agencies of the departments? There was some discussion about integration of departments, and I would say, yes, there was a little frustration about the process, both from Group 1, more particularly from Group 2, because an hour is not a long time to get all of this done. So I thank you for all of this, and I would also ask the state to figure out a way that we can extract more information. Where's going to be the feedback loop? Thank you.